Open the public meeting of the regular meeting for the Spotswood Borough Council. Welcome, everyone. And the notice requirements provided in the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied. Notice of this meeting was properly given in the new schedule of meetings of the Spotswood Borough Council on December 27, 2017. The new schedule was transmitted to the Home News Tribune and Sentinel. It was filed with the clerk of the Borough of Spotswood and posted in the municipal building located at 77 Summerhill Road, Spotswood, New Jersey.
Moment of silence.
We have a moment of silence for several individuals. I want you to use that silent moment to think about them. Reverend Monsignor John Szymanski passed away, and he was the pastor of St. Thomas. A lot of residents in Spotswood went to St. Thomas and St. James the Lesser in nearby Jamesburg. So I'd like you to keep him and his family in your thoughts and prayers. And then Mary Ramsey Alfieri died recently, and she was also a longtime resident of Spotswood before moving to Mountain Road Township 2 years ago. And so keep her in her thoughts. And Councilman Stolen is also going to talk about someone else who passed.
Thank you, Marge. Yes, on June 30th, we lost Robert Ritchie of Clearwater Village, 86 years old. He was married for 61 years to Marie. He was a mechanical engineer with Western Electric in Newark, and he formed and managed the Clearwater Village Players. Bob was smart, he was talented, kind, and generous, played the accordion, only recently had taught himself the banjo, and he will be certainly missed by the members of Clearwater. He was like an ambassador to that community, and he'll be missed by his family and by us as well. So.
Okay, so now let's do a salute to the flag and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Can I just say thank you? This is the first council meeting I went through that we said the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you very much.
Councilman Stolen,
Here.
who is also acting mayor.
Here.
Councilman Ritchie.
Here.
Councilman Malillo.
Here.
Councilman Rivera.
Here.
Council President Rhodes.
Here.
And Mayor Sealy is on vacation, so he is not here.
And our business administrator is also not here. She's attending a public meeting in East Brunswick. They are debating some redevelopment that's happening on the border with East Brunswick, so she's there at the behest of the mayor to observe those proceedings and report back to us. So she is not here tonight either.
And we have minutes tonight. The first set of minutes are the caucus meeting minutes of May 21st, 2018.
Move the caucus minutes of May 21st.
Second.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Yes.
We have regular minutes also for May 21st, 2018.
Move them.
Second.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes? We have
Yes.
another set of caucus minutes for June 6, 2018.
Move them.
Second.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Abstain.
Regular minutes for June 6th, regular meeting.
Second.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Abstain.
And we have a set of caucus minutes for June 18, 2018.
Move them.
Second.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Yes.
And we have the regular meeting minutes for June 18, 2018.
Motion to move them.
Second it.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Yes.
Okay, we have ordinance on second reading. Public hearing was set for July 16, 2016. Ordinance 2018-4 was posted in the municipal building on June 19th and advertised by summary in the Home News Tribune on June 21st, with the public hearing set for July 16th. An ordinance, I don't think I have to read them again.
No,
No, okay.
Make a motion, we open this ordinance for public hearing?
Second.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Yes.
Anyone have any questions?
Make a motion to close.
Second.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Yes. I move that the ordinance be adopted on second and final reading and be published according to law.
Second?
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Yes.
Okay, we have another ordinance on second reading. Ordinance 2018-5 was posted in the municipal building on June 19th and advertised by summary in the Home News Tribune on June 21st, and the public hearing was set for July 16th, 2018.
Make a motion, we open this for a
Yes.
public hearing?
Second.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Yes.
No questions?
Make a motion to close the public portion.
Second.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Yes. I move that the ordinance be adopted on second and final reading and be published according to law.
Second.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Yes.
We have a third ordinance on second reading. Ordinance 2018-6 was posted in a municipal building on June 19th and advertised in full in the Home News Tribune on June 21st, 2018, and the public hearing was set for July 16th.
Make a motion for a public hearing.
Second?
Second.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Yes. Any questions?
Make a motion to close.
Second.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Yes. I move that the ordinance be adopted on second and final reading and be published according to law.
Second it.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Yes.
Okay, in regards to the resolutions, Council President and council members, I would like a vote to accept resolutions under consent agenda. It would be Resolution 2018-108 through 2013-123, excluding 122, which is the bill list.
Make a motion to approve the resolutions you listed?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. For the bill list, Resolution 2018-122, payment of bills. Whereas law requires listing of all bills approved for payment, and whereas certification of available funds from the Chief Municipal Finance Officer has been made, and whereas the total bill list for the regular meeting dated July 16, 2018 is in the amount of $1,617,242.04. Now therefore be it resolved by the Borough Council of the Borough of Spotswood that the CFO is hereby authorized to pay said bill list. I need a motion.
Motion to pass?
Second.
Second.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Abstain.
Council President Rhodes?
Yes. Let's do reports from the liaisons. We'll start off with Jose.
I have nothing right now.
You have nothing?
Nothing.
All right, Ted?
Nothing to add right now, it's quiet.
Okay.
Well, as we talked about during the engineers' report in our caucus, we have been, and we just passed a bond ordinance to fund it. We're working on repaving Brunswick Avenue, and we're trying to fit 50 feet of improvements into 33 feet. So, and it's just not enough room to do all the things we want. One of the things we'd like is sidewalks, but looking at it, it's a very tight area, this 33-foot width in that area where there's homes very close to the roadway.
Yes.
I think when you look at the engineering that we've been looking at, it's, a lot of people have trouble parking. There's very tight lots, there's not a lot of parking in their driveways. Some people have actually paved and widened the road onto their lawn in order to make parking.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things we have to do is provide parking. Certainly on one side, it would be better to not be preferential to put it on both sides. But if we do that, there's just not a way to get sidewalks. So we thought we had something, Bruce and I, we were talking about it Friday, where you could have a 30-foot width, which is what we're doing at the cottage streets. And 30-foot width would give you on a small non-through street, like the cottage streets, you could have cars parked on both sides, and you would have two-way traffic, but sometimes someone may have to, like on Vaughan Avenue, you may have to wait for a car to go by before you can get through. We can't do that on Brooklyn, on Brunswick. So
That's a bad street.
Malay had said also that we really need a traffic count because that actually stipulates what you need. And the traffic count during the summer may be skewed by the fact that the roads are very quiet, people are on vacation, school's out, so that may require us waiting until September. At that point, I think we'll have some alternatives that we can bring to the council to make a decision on which way to go.
Good. Any
I agree,
questions?
we should wait until September to see the big picture.
I agree, totally.
Well, there's a threshold. If we pass 1,500 cars a day now, we're already past the point of making it a country lane, which is probably going to happen. So then we wouldn't have to wait necessarily, unless, I think the next threshold is quite high.
It was 3,500, I think.
Oh, no, it's not that high. So, yeah, we may have to. Because it is a busy street. So we're hoping to get that pinned down so they can start design.
Yeah.
But we are making progress, but we're not there yet.
Yeah.
But just that the residents know, we acknowledge how tight it is, we acknowledge that you need places to park, and we want to try to incorporate that into the design.
Yeah, we run into that on Snow Hill Street there too, because the people have very short driveways.
Yes.
And it is a very busy road, Snow Hill, especially with a lot of traffic diverting through our town as a pass-through. And coming up Brunswick also, a lot of traffic there. So it'll be interesting to see, but I agree with that. And I guess the rest of the council too, right, to defer to the traffic count to determine the next course of action.
And what happens is, we're going to put curbing in. So right now, people can pull off onto the lawn. Once we approve it, we would not be able to. So I don't think we want to restrict them.
And if you're coming towards East Brunswick down there, I know the right-hand side, there's some open land there for cars to be parked for those houses. But on the left-hand side, it's very restricted.
Well, that's actually an interesting point that I didn't mention. There's a couple paper streets that are not developed, and they're used as parking. And they're used, actually, two homes actually use it as a common drive.
They do.
So Dawn has to look at that, see if there's any properties in there that are still privately owned, because the borough has acquired most of that. And if they are, we can vacate that street.
Okay, very good.
So that's
Clean
another
it up.
issue. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Kurt, for looking into
Okay.
that.
All right, we're working on it.
Anything else from a report? Did you want to?
Not for me, no.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
John?
Oh, I got something over here. Okay, Spotswood High School, Principal Tom Calder has retired after 17 years as the principal of Spotswood High School. We wish him the best of his endeavors. Best of health, too. And I'm going to we all wish the kids that graduated, boys and girls, wish them the best. And the ones that got promoted, wish them the best. So, the new principal of the Spotswood High School will be, no stranger to Spotswood, is Dale Rubino. He'll be the new principal of Spotswood High School. So, congratulations to him and the kids and everybody else. And let's see, and I got, there's a meeting tomorrow night at the Board of Education at the high school library, 7 o'clock. And there's a meeting at the Spotswood Library on Main Street. That is the 19th, that's Thursday. So that's at 7 o'clock. That's all I got. That's it.
Thank you, John. My report, the Senior Center is another jam-packed July. Lots of activities. Thursday is Senior Olympics. So if you're 55 and over and you want to be a member of the Senior Center, please go. It's just a lot of fun, a lot of activities, yoga, meditation, exercise, games, bingo, you name it, they have it down there. So it's a great resource for those residents in our town to go and utilize. So Senior Olympics are this Thursday, starting at 1 o'clock down there. The other thing I just want to comment on, and we're going to have much more to do about this at our next council meeting on Monday, August 13th, is I would like to just announce, and I know the mayor will be here at the next meeting to talk much more about this, but we got awarded $2.5 million through the efforts of our Senator Linda Greenstein and Assemblyman Dan Benson and Wayne D'Angelo. That is going to go for the DeVoe Lake Restoration Project, and we're going to be developing plans with the help of our engineering firm to make that a central hub for the town, to clean it up and make it something that we can use for recreation, boating, and other things. So I just want to express my appreciation ahead of the next meeting, but I just want to say, truly, this is what government's all about, listening to people and their needs and coming up with solutions. So, so Thursday, August 13th, we're going to have coffee and cake. Huh?
Monday, August.
Oh, Monday, sorry, Monday, August 13th. I'm still thinking about Senior Olympics. We're going to have a celebration here, so coffee and cake, and hopefully they'll be in attendance, and we'll pass a resolution of appreciation to them for their efforts on our behalf. And
Before we open, Dawn McDonald just gave me an update that the room is about half full in East Brunswick. They have about 425 people, and it is moving forward.
okay.
They're here having the hearing.
This is regards to that SaveFrost.com. That's a group that started in response to the development of that corner by ShopRite right down the road here, and their proposal to put a pharmacy, a bank, and some residential housing units there. And the traffic, we've hired a traffic consultant. We've also hired a conflict attorney to attend those meetings, as well as the BA is attending there tonight. I know Councilman Stolen has been there also at past meetings just to gather more information, because this will certainly impact on our residents as well as East Brunswick's. And SaveFrost.com is the website to go to find out the latest information by the advocacy group that's working to raise awareness of this development project. Good. Anything else? Acting Mayor, is there anything from Mayor Sealy?
No, you mentioned the lake, and Ed's got to be
Oh, I
thrilled
got to
with
say
that.
something about the lake, too. Can I say something about that lake?
Sure, of course, John.
Because I ran on that lake to be fixed up.
Uh-huh.
After all these years, that lake over there, 30 years, 40, whatever it is, it was a beautiful lake at one time. Beautiful lake. Everybody was they swim in there, well, of course, all that stuff. I'll tell you what, the mayor, let me tell you, from what it was, from what it is now, at least it looks a lot better, though. It fixed. If you ride by there, at least it looks better. It looks much better. And a few more things had to be done, maybe finishing touches, but the geese still go there. What are you going to do about that? That's it. But the lake is not, it looks pretty good. A little more work, but I think it's getting there. We're going to have a good lake over there.
So the
Next time.
engineering firm is going to work on a proposal that will help us with the geese, because I'm sure they've run into that with other communities. But good comments, John. And truly, everybody on this dais has been acquainted. I was one of those when I was a child, and I know the borough clerk, that used to swim in that lake. It was a resource, a very good resource for recreation, and we hope to develop it into something like that in the future for our younger residents, and all of our residents, actually. So good work on behalf of everybody. I know everybody here has talked to a legislator about this and lobbied for funding to enable us to move forward with this, including Senator Deignan here, who's on our dais. I know he certainly was involved too. So thank you to CME, our professionals, Pat Deignan, our senator, and actually everyone on this dais worked hard for this. So we're going to have a nice party at our next meeting. We're going to have a closed,
I have to open to the public.
oh, we got to open to, okay. Motion,
Motion to open to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
aye. It's now open for anyone who wants to come up to the dais and make a statement. Please state your name and your address. Thank you.
That's it, to the close.
Good evening. My name is Rich Morosky. I live at 105 George Street, right over here, around the corner.
Hi, Rich.
The reason why I came here tonight is on June, well, something that sort of made me sad is I know we had a moment of silence, and I thought that was wonderful, but you forgot a resident. He's been a 14-year resident here in Spotswood, and that's why I'm here tonight to ultimately talk about my neighbor.
Okay.
On June 3rd, I got a knock on my door, and it was my friend Danny Lasco. That's his name, by the way, Danny Lasco. He's lived here for 14 years. And saying she can't wake him up, she can't wake him up. And I went across the hall, and he had aspirated, and he had hit his head, and he was, I don't know if you ever touched chopped meat that's just been left out on the counter. It just doesn't feel exactly right, and that's how he felt. And I immediately checked for pulse in 3 spots. I did a knuckle rub to try and revive him. I immediately started CPR. After a while, some fluid came up out of his lungs, and I had to, move him over to his side and re-clear his airway and pinch his nose shut. We had called, subsequently, my wife had called 911. Danny passed away, obviously. The first responders were absolutely top-notch. They handled an incredibly difficult situation and an emotionally charged situation in an incredibly profoundly professional manner, and I have nothing but admiration for them.
Well, it sounds like you were a good Samaritan too, so thank you.
Oh, indeed, thank you. I was listening to the fellow who works or volunteers his time for recreation. He's talking about those little glycine bags. Historically, they're known for having heroin in them. They cost $6, $7, or $8 a piece. And sadly, I don't believe that these are kids from out of town. I don't believe that for a moment. From the best of my recollection from that evening, that had not been the only time that Narcan was dispensed in our township that day. I think it was better than 3 times.
Wow.
I know I'd come here before and I'd talked to this committee about medical cannabis, and I understand your feeling on it. However, I disagree. I think a situation like this may have been avoided if someone had an alternative besides those little glycine bags that fellow found. I'm disappointed in this council's actions or inactions, because it has really amounted to someone that I know's death. I'm not laying this at your feet by any means. He had his own cupidity in this. It's saddening. First of all, to hear that that happened more than one time on one day. How many times has it happened? Do you guys know how many times our first responders from our town have given out Narcan? Does anyone on this board know?
It's
You do?
frequent. It's frequent.
Frequent
Yeah.
would mean how many times? I would like to know exactly.
You know, I don't know the current, and I don't want to state, but I
Okay, I
know that
understand.
I'm the EMS liaison, and I'm also family nurse practitioner.
Understand.
So I also serve on the opioid task force at St. Peter's University Hospital, and we get a lot of the overdoses and the Narcan saves into our emergency room, and we monitor that activity on a daily basis. So, yes, I agree with you. It is all too free. One time is too much, right, to lose a life. Now, I just want to address, because you were here at another meeting, and we passed a resolution saying we didn't want marijuana to be legalized, but we had no problem with medical marijuana, and we stated it at that meeting, and I state it tonight. There's nobody on this dais that is against medical marijuana.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Our resolution specifically targeted recreational marijuana and the sale of recreational marijuana.
Okay,
We never once addressed medical.
right on.
If it comes,
That really makes me happy. Thank you.
we've never addressed that issue. So medical marijuana.
And nor would
is-
I, as a health professional.
If medical marijuana is prescribed and it's otherwise legal, there's nothing that we're going to do to stop that. What
Okay.
we don't want is a head shop opening up on the corner and kids going in there and buying stuff.
Understood.
That's what we're trying to prevent.
Understood. I don't know if this body is aware that the governor has called for 6 additional medical dispensaries to be here in the state.
Good.
There needs to be, I think he wants 2 in each region or something. I didn't get to read, I just read it before I came here, obviously.
Good for him.
Maybe if this board would consider having a medical cannabis dispensary here in town. I know there are storefronts that are available. These things are easily done. If this body would like to have a tour, I can have that set up. There's advocates here. You could go
Yeah.
and see, there's no mystery in this, and you can see exactly what they do and how these places are run. I've come across them, and they don't look like a place where you would ever go to buy cannabis. It just may have a name on it and a doorway, and that is basically it.
I think everybody on the dais also supports more business in town, whatever that business is. But we would, it'd have to come to the point where we're asked, or we had to make a decision. It hasn't gotten there yet.
Okay.
But I appreciate your entrepreneurial bend.
Oh, I don't have an
because it
entrepreneurial
does
one.
help raise
To save
revenues.
lives, that's all. I'm a very humble man. I live very humbly. I just want to help people. I don't want to see that happen again to anyone's neighbor, regardless if they're in this community or East Brunswick or
Right.
Helmetta, which is now part of our community too.
Yes, yes.
I'm just gravely concerned to have that happen in such an incredibly small town like ours. And this is a conservative town and a very nice town.
Yes, I
To have this
certainly agree
going
with
on
you there.
very much upsets me, and I just wanted to let the board know that it has made some great impact on us. As a matter of fact, we both went and took courses and learned how to properly dispense Narcan. I carry it with me wherever I go
Good for you.
in the event of an emergency. I don't know if I could have, I doubt I could have saved him. I'm pretty sure he was long gone before I ever got into
Well, you
that
made
room.
the effort.
I
and-
tried. And I thank you again. And hopefully someone will approach you guys and we'll have this discussion again. As far as head shops are concerned, you can block that stuff. Just because there's a dispensary here doesn't mean you have to have that kind of nonsense going on in town. Completely unacceptable in my mind.
Yeah, and I am sorry for your loss of your neighbor.
Thank you.
And we do the moment of silence. If somebody brings it to our attention, we will announce and do a moment of silence for those residents who are here
Wonderful.
and we are aware of. So
Maybe
again,
next time then,
I'm
right?
sorry.
Maybe next time you could include Danny.
Oh, okay. All right, get me some details.
Of course.
So we could make it a little more personalized.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Very much.
Anyone else would like to come to the podium? I just ask that you state your name and your address.
Hi, my
Hi.
name is Denise Morosky.
Hi, Denise.
I'm sorry, I'm just a little upset that what my husband was talking about, because they were our neighbors for 3 years. You know, I called 911 immediately and helped my husband start CPR, and it was just horrible. The state, we had to go up to the state in Trenton, and they gave us Narcan, and the Spotswood ShopRite pharmacist and assistant told me to keep it in my pocketbook at all times because they said it's so bad that you don't know if you go to Subway or Dunkin' Donuts or wherever you are that you might need it.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
So we do carry that with us. And I just wanted to address the fact that, okay, you were talking about that if we were to have a dispensary in town, it would have to be brought up. Like, how would we go about doing that? Because me and my husband were in Montclair last week at the Wilmot Theater, which is very well known.
Right,
And there was
yeah.
a dispensary across the street, and my husband was pointing at it. And I was going, where is it? I don't see it. I can't see it. And I'm someone that was looking for it. Didn't know it was there. He had to point like 3 times. And then he said, where it says compassionate care, Curaleaf,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. And another thing is that I can see you not wanting head shops in town, but if you go into any of the convenience stores that we have in town, the 7-Elevens, they all carry drug paraphernalia. They all have it. So, you know, the
Good
head
point.
shop, if,
Good point.
you know, if maybe you can see about having that stuff removed from those places so that it doesn't give people that shouldn't be on the medical marijuana program ideas. Just a suggestion, because I go in there and I'm like, okay, am I in 7-Eleven or am I in a head shop? Because they have special cases for them and everything where they keep them locked up, and you can try this one and try that one, and different grinders and different paraphernalia.
Yeah.
And kids don't have to go to a head shop. They just got to go into 7-Eleven to get some candy and see the stuff and get curious, you know. And I just wanted you guys to be, I know that you probably already are aware of the extreme opioid and heroin, mostly heroin addiction that we have here in this town. And I would just like to do whatever I could to help with that. And I also want to thank you for letting us know about the senior center, because I definitely am interested in some yoga.
Good, very good.
Thank you so much for
Thank you
hearing
for coming up, the both of you. Anyone else would like to come?
Just the open hearing?
Yeah, sure. Just come up, just state your name and your
Yeah,
address.
my name is Don Karpowicz, Kilo Alpha, Romeo, Papa, Oscar, Whiskey, India, Charlie, Hotel. Got that? I'm from Morristown, New Jersey. I'm a disabled veteran, 100% permanently and totally disabled from post-traumatic stress. I'm also 80% disabled physically from 1,500 jumps out of airplanes. I'm a retired special operator in the Air Force.
Thank
You've
you
never
for
heard
your
of us.
service.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I appreciate it. You're starting off the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. That was a surprise. It was very nice, pleasant. I'd like to start off with a question to each of the council members, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
What is your stance on medical marijuana and why?
I'll start off. I'm a healthcare provider, and I have seen the benefits of that. I had talked at the last meeting that my brother has epilepsy, and I have seen the benefits of that with him. So that's why I support it. And I think that in the right context, it can be life-saving, especially for children with epilepsy, and in the right form for them.
Okay. Like to hear that. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Did
Down
you
the line?
guys feel like you wanted to share?
Marijuana has never been a part of my life. I'm not sure whatever we're going to do about that, but when we heard that this governor wanted to legalize it, I started doing some research. And of all the things that I had read regarding having it legalized for recreational use, the one thing I saw over and over again was that medically it has a tremendous effect. So that opened my eyes, and I have no problem with medical marijuana.
Good to hear.
Anyone else like
Next,
to share?
I'd like to get everybody's opinion, please.
Well, that's up to them to.
I know. I'm
On
personally
Thursday.
asking each member if I could. No, recreational, what about medical marijuana?
All right.
That's what I'm talking about, medical
So,
marijuana.
yeah, I just want you to know that I'm against.
See, what I'm trying to do with you guys is try to differentiate between recreational,
Here's
weed.
this, sir, let me-
We're-
there's tricks in life. Okay, goes to the doctor, needs medical marijuana, but they get around that. They use it for the purpose of getting high, too. I understand that. I came from that territory when I was a kid, going back. And them guys all died. All those guys died. They died.
What did they die of?
Drugs.
What kind of drugs?
Well, at the time, there was no, the medical.
Heroin?
Everything.
Marijuana?
Mixed, yes.
They died from marijuana.
Yeah, they died.
That's old
Back
thought.
seats of a
That's
car.
old thought, sir.
Huh?
I'm not getting confrontational. I'm
Yeah,
not. It's just
yeah.
old thought,
Let's
that's all.
just-
That's okay,
John-
it's your opinion,
Yeah.
that's okay.
No, but it goes on, it's all over the country. It's all over the world, you want to look at it anyway. I mean, that's what it's about. But the medical, I can accept it in a lot of ways because there's doctor involved, prescription, blah, blah, blah. But they get around that too. But as far as the recreation, that's out.
Okay, that was good. So you're okay with medical, you're okay with the
To an
medical?
extent, though, yeah. Good, yeah.
Okay, you're okay with it. Could I ask the borough attorney,
Yes.
clerk, for,
I'm fine with medical marijuana. As I indicated earlier, the only thing that I was against was recreational, sale of recreational pot. I don't have an opinion one way or the other with the medical.
and
I defer.
you defer? And okay. There's no way that you would consider separating your resolution to separate medical marijuana out of your resolution to ban marijuana completely from your town.
Our resolution was specific to recreational use only.
It was specific to recreational?
Specific.
Okay, then I was
Yes.
misinformed.
Our resolution was specifically to ban the sale of recreational marijuana.
Okay, well, and I appreciate your time. I thought I completely was off track on there. I didn't do my research. So thank you very much. Thank you for your support. I'll go no
service.
further. Thank you.
Thank you for your service. Anyone else?
My name is Aubrey Combe. I am from Saraville, New Jersey.
Hi, Aubrey.
Hi, how are you?
Okay.
I really am happy to hear that you're into medical. That's what these guys are here for tonight. I just wanted to invite you. I'm one of the advocates. I'm a patient advocate for the dispensary in Cranberry.
Oh, good.
And I just wanted to invite you guys, if you wanted to see how it absolutely is nothing like a head shop or anything like that, I'll leave my card. Contact me if you guys want to come take a tour, anything like that. Any dispensary would be happy to have you. And, take a look at it and see that it's not what some of the stigma is. I don't need to convince you guys about it because you're all on board and I'm
Are
happy
you
to
from
hear that.
Compassionate Care? Because I know there was
No,
a
I'm
couple
from
vendors.
Breakwater.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
If you would mind, leave the card with our borough clerk?
sure, definitely.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
I'd be happy to have you. Thank you.
Thank you for coming up. Anyone else about anything? Hi, sir. Have a seat.
Thank you. Jeffrey Oaks, 60 Pemberton Avenue.
Just be
Sorry.
closer to the
Thank you.
mic. Thank you.
There was a lot said here tonight. I commend the council on mentioning the citizens that have passed, and life and death is weighing heavy on my mind. I have cancer, stage 4.
I'm sorry.
Went through 32 treatments of chemo. I've seen my fellow patients die next to me on either side of the chair, lined up in the chemotherapy place. And you make friends with them on Facebook, and you don't see them at the chemo treatment anymore, and you ask about them, and you hear that this one passed away and that one didn't make it. And one of those friends is home tonight, my friend Laura. She's not doing well. I believe she quit chemo. But I commend the council on their decision not to ban medical cannabis here in town. That means a lot to our community. It says a lot about your town and the compassion that it has in making that decision. Well, from my standpoint and the experience that I've been through, and the trouble that I've had trying to access medical cannabis, and I'm fortunate that I've been able to afford it, and there's too many people that can't afford it, and they die. They have cancer, they die. I'm very familiar with cancer, very familiar with the disease. I've studied it for years now. I've had it for 3 years. My cousin died of pancreatic cancer. Before that, I took care of him. I studied it for him. I know the effects of cannabis inside and out. And I can assure you, if you're skeptical, it has anti-cancer properties. That's a scientific fact now. The general public does not seem to want to accept that. And there's people out there dying that need our help. And like I said, I commend the council for not including medical in the ban. But I would ask you tonight to go one step further, to have a resolution, put a resolution in place to support the medical cannabis community and education and research for all the diseases that it is effective for. Thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing those thoughts. I promise you, we will have a discussion, and I am sorry again for your loss of your friend. Laura will be in my prayers tonight.
She's still holding on.
Okay. Well, she'll be in my prayers for continued good health.
My name is Lefty Grimes. I'm from East Hanover. I used to live in Helmetta for many years. Back in the 90s, I was walking on Route 18, and I saw a turtle on its back spinning around, and trucks were going past it doing like 60 miles an hour, and this poor turtle was sitting there spinning, and it was still alive. So I ran on 18, I got this turtle, and I brought him to DeVoe Lake. And I love that lake, so I'm really happy to hear that you guys are doing something with that lake, because that's a really nice place. And I hope that turtle's still there. It'd be really cool. It'd be amazing.
Did you tag it?
Should have.
The turtle's big as a lake.
Thanks for sharing that.
I would invite each council member to go to the dispensary. That would be great. But also, I would invite you to spend a day in a wheelchair in this town and just see what you can and can't do, because I advocate for the sick and I advocate for people in wheelchairs, disabled war vets especially. And when I came here through Main Street, there was a sidewalk you couldn't even get through, right by the post office on the other side. I had to go out in the street a couple times. And over here, there's a there's a veterans walk, but you definitely can't roll there, because if you're coming across from the tracks from the other side, you have to actually go in the street to get to it. You can't walk to it. You can't get a wheelchair on there.
You mean over the tracks, you mean?
Yeah, it's very dangerous there if you're in a wheelchair.
Uh-huh.
And I've been spending a lot of time in the wheelchair to see how it's like. And we do a wheelchair videos. I got assaulted last week doing this video. The woman was selling wheelchairs in a store, and the big step to get in. So my friend was in the wheelchair, and we're like, "Do you have a wheelchair ramp?" And she slammed the door in our face. So I started yelling at her. I said, "We're going to sue you for $100,000. She came running out, and she started assaulting me. She's hitting me.
Wow.
Saying, "Help, help." It's on YouTube. It's insane what I'm going through to get wheelchair ramps. Yeah, and I mean, I see stores all over here with no access. And I mean, the council can do something about that. I mean, they can put an ordinance in where you have to have a wheelchair ramp. Some towns have done that. Yeah.
Thought as part of code, everything has to be handicapped accessible.
Unless they're grandfathered
Correct,
in.
Malik?
And that's what they use. They use that grandfather term to get around that.
Thank you for informing me.
Depends whether they're refurbishing or rehabbing something. If it's an older building and they're just doing a rehab on it, they don't have to follow all the ADA requirements. I've been down this road already.
Yeah.
But then when you take it to the next step, then you have to become barrier-free all the way around. So that may be some of the reason why some of these stores don't have anything. Depends how old they are.
Yeah.
Were they stores on Main Street?
Yeah. There's a few on the other side of the post office here, and
Okay.
a couple.
All right, Malik, can we just look at the sidewalk
And the
that
sidewalk,
he's referring
yes,
to
yeah.
on the other, opposite the post office down Main Street, just to see? I know that's the side where my mom, we have grave in the First Reformed Church Cemetery, and that's the side you're referring to,
Yes.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you for bringing that to our
Yeah.
attention.
But, yeah, we try to bring that to attention, because nobody knows they have an issue until we bring it up. They're like, well, we've never seen this problem before. And I'm like, well, what do you expect disabled people to do? Crawl up the steps and say, hey, you have no ramp, hey,
God bless you.
That's what we're done. Yeah, and if you want to see another video, the Jersey City jump, there was a library in Jersey City, a public library with no access, and a guy with spinal bifida actually had to crawl up the steps and then do the jump off the second step onto the sidewalk. Jersey City jump. And this is ridiculous what we have to go through to get these things, because the government's not helping us. So we're trying to do this ourselves, and maybe the government can help us in some ways. In Bayonne, they're not doing anything. I've been begging Bayonne. I went to the council in Bayonne. I begged them. They're not helpful at all. I don't know what to do. So I get assaulted. This is the second time I've been assaulted getting a wheelchair ramp.
I promise you won't get assaulted here.
Thank you. We got 12 ramps in Bayonne doing this, though. But thank you. Yeah, we have a podcast where at the end of our podcast we have a moment of silence, and we thank, we remember all the patients that have died, and it's the Ode of Remembrance. And we add a new name, it seems, every week. 1 out of 10 medical cannabis patients die every year. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. That was very nice.
Anybody else?
I just want to comment on what you said about wheelchairs. I fractured my right ankle and no weight bearing for 6 weeks. And I never was more appreciative of the ADA than during that time when I was in that wheelchair, and the improvements that are made, have been made over the years in our infrastructure. And if you go overseas that doesn't have ADA, any requirement for any access, it is very difficult for people who are not living in America to get around. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Observation. Anybody else want to come up to the podium about anything? Come on up. Just give your name, date of address.
Thank you. My name is Jeffrey King. That's Kilo India November Golf. I'm at 24 Elizabeth Parkway, Eatontown.
Okay, thank you.
And I was here with the group last time, and I do remember we had a good discussion. And I think you guys are very rational. I appreciate your approach. Just a couple of points I wanted to touch on. I'd like to reiterate what my friend Jeffrey Oaks said. I would urge you to please put your money where your mouth is and take action and pass a resolution in favor of medical marijuana dispensary in this municipality, because you can sit back and wait for someone to approach you, or you can invite entrepreneurs to come in and create jobs and provide medicine and healing. So that's one point I would really like to emphasize with any governing body. Please let people know where you stand officially. The second reflection I have is a problem I've seen in many areas of the world, the country, and in New Jersey here, going to towns and hearing them say that they're for medical, but the rec's out. No rec. Okay, no adult use. No freedom for people to do what they want with their own body and to have their own right to do what they want with their lives. That's sad. I think that's really un-American. It's disappointing to hear people just jump on that bandwagon. And then the double standard and the hypocrisy really gets to me, because I think alcohol is a very dangerous, deadly poison. It's addictive. It's destructive, what happens to families and children out on the streets. Very unsafe. Mm-hmm. I think it's ridiculous that we're going to take a stand against adult use marijuana, but alcohol is fine. Fentanyl, pharmaceuticals, disgusting what's happening. Opiates, I'm disgusted by this being on our corner store. I don't mind a grinder in a 7-Eleven. That is like candy compared to alcohol and pharmaceuticals. And I don't understand why everyone, not just you, I'm not trying to criticize you unfairly, but a lot of leaders in our government at all levels are hung up thinking the Super Bowl is all well and good, but Cheech and Chong is the devil. And I think that's horrible. We need to change that. We need to turn it around. And I appreciate you just giving me the opportunity to vent on that. And you guys are really classy up here. Keep up the good work. Thanks a lot.
Well, thank you for sharing your views. Anyone else? Hi.
Hello, my name is William Kramer. I live at 11 Halsey Place in Spotswood. I want to ask the council, I pay all my mother's bills. She has dementia. And I got a delinquency notice on her water and sewer bill, and I already paid it. And I understand there's a few other people in town that have been getting them too. Is that something that's...
Larry,
glitch?
would you mind giving us her name, and then
Sure.
we'll look into it and get right back to you?
Sure. Kathleen Whiting,
Is that with a K or a C?
K.
And
She
she's on
lives at
Halsey?
82, no, she lives at 82 Vincent Court. It's in the retirement village.
Oh, okay, Clearwater?
Clearwater, yeah.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Is there anyone else?
Make a motion to close.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have a closed session.
Yes, closed session.
Pat, do you want to read the,
Yeah, I will.
okay.
Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975 permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, now therefore be it resolved by the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey as follows. 1, the public shall be excluded from discussion of any action upon the hereinafter specified subject matters. The general nature of the subject matter to be discussed is as follows: contract negotiations / shared services. It is anticipated at this time that the above stated subject matter shall be made public when confidentiality no longer is required. This resolution shall take effect immediately.
Make a motion to pass the resolution?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Action,
Action will
Will
be
be
taken
taken.
after the closed session.
I'll make a motion to close the closed and reopen the open.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now, we have a resolution. I'll read it in full. Resolution 2018-124, resolution for approval to submit a grant application and execute a grant contract with the State of New Jersey Office of Emergency Management for the Spotswood High School Generator Project, Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, CFDA number 97.039, FEMA DR 4086 NJ 619R. Now therefore be it resolved that the Borough Council of Spotswood formally approves the grant application for above stated project. Be it further resolved that Mayor Sealy is hereby authorized to accept the sub-grant for Hazard Mitigation Grant Program DFDA number 97.039, FEMA DR 4086 and J 619R, Office of Emergency Management for Spotswood High School Generator Project, to the State of New Jersey Office of Emergency Management on behalf of the Borough of Spotswood. Be it further resolved that this grant agreement in the amount of $180,688 will serve as the contract between the grantee and the sub-grantee for the purpose of approved project number FEMA DR 4086 and J619-R. The grant amount represents the maximum federal currently allocated for the project and may not be equal to estimated cost of completing the entire project. Total estimated cost of the project is $180,688. Total federal share is $162,000. Total non-federal share is $18,688. The non-federal match is to be raised in the 2019 budget. Sub-grantee shall comply with the stipulations set forth in said agreement. Be it further resolved that Mayor Sealy is hereby authorized to sign the grant agreement on behalf of the Borough of Spotswood, and that his signature constitutes acceptance of the terms and conditions of the grant agreement and approves the execution of the grant agreement.
Make a motion to
Make a
pass the
motion to
Go ahead,
approve the
John.
resolution. Yeah, all right.
Second?
Make a motion to approve the resolution.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes? Did I
Yes.
say Councilman Stolen?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this resolution has been accepted and adopted, and I'll give you copies to sign. And you know what, we never opened to read that.
Yes, we did.
We did? We opened it? Oh, I don't have that here. Okay. So now, we're open, now we can close and adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Yep.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.